Your financial personality, it matters so much more than you think. Here's why your buying strategy should match you and your personality. There's a really awesome book. It's called The Psychology of Money. It was introduced to me by a good friend of mine, Todd Caroland, and I think Daniel Staub introduced it to him. I've given this book to at least 40, maybe 50 clients at this point, because after we're done with the consultation, I realize that they don't even know why they're thinking about money the way they do. For me personally, I lived in a bunch of houses while I was growing up. I'm like really financially conservative because I'm afraid that I'm going to end up having a bad credit score, or I don't want to make the mistakes that are going to make me have to move, or I'm going to foreclose. So I'm very conservative. Now, part of what I do allows me to have a little bit better perspective, and maybe I've loosened up a little bit. But when we bought our first house, and our first payment was $500 a month. I mean, our debt to income ratio was literally about 6%. And most of the people I talk to, their debt to income ratio is about 35 to 50%. So we are hyper conservative personally, but that's affected by our previous experiences. So you need to figure out how you think about money. And ultimately, your mortgage isn't just a one size fits all. It should fit your financial personality. So that's part of what we do here at Cross Country is we sit down and we go over the monthly payment, the cash to close, the interest rate, the house, the program, so that you can match that up. Because I'm going to ask you, hey, what do you want your payment to be in a perfect world? And you might say, well, I want it to be $5 a month. And say, hey, that doesn't match up with reality. We get back to reality and they say, hey, I want it to be $2,000 a month. We might have to do creative things to get it to $2,000 a month, or you might have to change some of your perspective without, let's call it, taking advantage of or discounting or throwing out your financial personality. But that meeting may stretch you to think about money in a different way, or it might just solidify that, hey, I want to continue upon the path that I'm on. So make sure you sit down, you go over the process, and you make sure that your mortgage matches up with your financial personality. See you next time.